Welcome to the Holy Yogi, where we help you find the guru inside of you. Hello, beautiful. Hello, handsome. How you doing today? And if no one has told you today that they love you, then let me be the first. I love each and every single one of you, and I hope you're having a fantastic Labor Day today. And with that in mind, this is what I need you to do. In order to spread the love, you got to spread the word about the Holy Yogi. So do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, and ding, 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 hit that notification button so we can give you the 411 on all the lovely things we want to share with you on the daily. Because love, what? Truly makes the world go round and round and round. There's Martin. There's Martin Luther King, y'all. I always stay in the light and love, and he taught us the meaning of unconditional love and sacrifice too. So it's going to be a great day because, like I said, love is the greatest medicine of them all. Love makes the world go round and round, and love truly what? It always, ladies and gentlemen, it always wins. So, what are we going to talk about today? The message of the day is avoid energy vampires. Ooh, that's right, energy vampires. These are people, and sometimes, they're your family and your friends that you need to immediately cut from your life. Sometimes for a period of time, sometimes for a short period of time, until you raise your vibrational frequency up so high that no matter what they do, it's not going to affect you. But in the beginning stages, it's going to be really, really challenging. And I was debating about whether or not to have this really raw, honest conversation with you, because I can remember back in the day, I did the Michael Baisden show. I don't know if you know Michael Baisden, but he's an African-American, I don't call him DJ, actually he was an author, speaker, but he had radio show personality. That's the best way, radio show personality. He had his own show that came on every day, and was really cool as far as schooling us on life and living and doing some positive, productive things. So I had the pleasure of being on his show several times. And on this particular show, we got to talking, and I forgot the topic of the show, but it all boiled down to the fact that I was schooling people about, focusing on loving themselves and focusing on developing wealth within inside of themselves by making sure that they were being very generous and giving out into the world. So in a nutshell, Michael had asked a particular question, and in so many words, the answer was in regards to my mother. Would I, I think it was loan my mother any money. Yeah, okay, I got it now, I remember now. The topic was about, I always say, don't give money away to anyone that you can't afford to give. Don't loan any money away to anybody that you cannot afford to loan to, because if it comes back to you, then it's great. But if it doesn't, it's okay. Because as you know, that's one of the key areas of breakup relationships is money issues that people have with people, particularly in their family. And in so many words, he was asking me in regards to my mom, if I would do the same thing in regards to my mother. And I was trying to be politically correct, but the reality of the situation is I didn't give the right answer because I wanted to be politically correct, and I didn't want to throw my mother underneath the bus. But I realized I was doing people a lot of disservice, not divulging the truth, because a lot of people have family members, particularly their moms and dads, that literally have ruined their careers because they acquiesce to their negative energy, to their controlling, manipulative conduct and things of that nature, and they lost it all. And to be very honest with you, I had to make a real tough love decision back many years ago to evict my mother from one of my properties because she literally was trying to destroy my business partnership with my partner, and had told some blatant lies and untruths in regards to my character and my actions and things of that nature, which caused my business partner to question me and question our relationship and her vibrational frequency went down. And literally, ladies and gentlemen, what ended up happening was the fact that our business partnership did end up breaking up, and she tried to walk away with $2.5 million worth of real estate property. She met a man. See, this is what I'm talking about negative energy and vampires. She met a man on the internet who was obviously very negative, and later on I intuitively knew that he was a con artist. I intuitively knew that he was married, because like a lot of women do, they become unfortunately desperate, and they want to listen to, these lies from men. And make a long story short, he married my business partner, even though he's already married just to another woman. And later on came on Facebook, and the guy's wife ended up, I guess they broke up. Hindsight 2020, Tamara finally got it I shouldn't mention her name, but anyway, she finally got the information. And in a nutshell, basically was taking him to court and a lot of hoopla stuff, and wanted me to get involved. And I said no, because when our relationship terminated, and we were like Oprah and Gail, y'all. We were best friends. We would talk every day on the phone until that day when she totally tried to take off with the money and the houses, and by care of this gentleman. But you see, nobody can do anything to you without your consent. You see, she was already wanting to think those negative things to justify her taking poverty steps and thinking lack and limitation, and wanted to start robbing, cheating, and stealing in order to build, abundance. And I knew immediately that that marriage was already over before it began, because it was on deceptiveness, it was on complete negativity, and it had everything to do with fear and not love. And that's why I want you to fully understand. And I knew this before I allowed my mom back into my life. We had a roller coaster, mother-daughter relationship all of my life. And voila, just recently, my mom came back into my life because of health reasons. She had to stay with me for a period of time, but before she came, I already knew it. You see, ladies and gentlemen, I had prepared for this moment because I was doing my spiritual work for years. I had seen my mother in close to 20 years. My son is 19, so I'm gonna say 18 years was the last time that I had seen my mother. And all those 18 years, boy, you talk about doing some serious healing, some serious spiritual work. And in a nutshell, I knew that she was emotionally unstable, emotionally out of balance, emotionally sick, mentally sick, spiritually sick, soul totally dysfunctional. And not only that, because she suffered, now check this out, she suffered from, it's called psychoseizures, meaning you have a seizure over the stress and anxiety that you're experiencing in life. And so that's why she could not be by herself in order to be able to live. But in a nutshell, even with that, even with understanding and knowing that, I had to do the spiritual work, ladies and gentlemen. She was my mother. And what I had to do was become spiritually mature and love her unconditionally. And that's what I told my kids. When she comes, we are going to love her unconditionally and not expecting anything in return. But in loving her unconditionally, we wasn't going to get caught up into her hang-up. I'm going to say this again. We weren't going to get caught up into her hang-up. Now, I don't recommend this for people in the beginning stages. A lot of people can't handle being around energy vampires. People cannot handle that at all. And I do not recommend for everybody to do that. But with all the spiritual work that I had done, I was prepared for that. And when she came, I saw the writing on the wall. And in a nutshell, we just kept loving her, kept pouring out love no matter what she did, to the point where, as the climax of the story, literally full circle, a year later, she called the police on me for absolutely no reason at all, something that she had contrived within her mind. But keep in mind, keep this in proper perspective, she was excruciating hip pain, on her left side, the female side, because she was emotionally in pain. See, that's what I'm saying. And not only that, she was addicted to pain. You see, ladies and gentlemen, she was not happy unless she was in pain. It's a deep thing, but it's really real. She was addicted to the pain. And so she created, to the point where she became, delusional, created these painful experiences like to justify her wanting to leave. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, when someone wants to leave after you've done everything on the spiritual realm and on the physical realm to love them and to heal them, I even healed my mother's illness and sickness to the point where now, which later on, she had difficulty walking. She could walk free and clear, bend her legs and do all these other type of things. And still, after all of that, she was very destructive. And she was genuinely unhappy. And I told her, I love you so much that I really truly want you to be happy. And if your being happy has to be your leaving here, I'm going to love you to your next, journey. And I'm going to support you and I'm going to help facilitate that, which I did do. And in a nutshell, the universe had put her in a situation where now she's with my brother-in-law and they're in Florida, ironically, and we're going to pray for everybody in Florida, that they get from underneath this Hurricane Dorian and that, there's light and love shed upon that experience. But what was really beautiful, that's why you always want to look at the silver lining out of this. What was really beautiful about it, I was so proud of myself that I was, every day, my mantra was, I'm calm, I'm kind, I am happy, always. Even when she had left the house and the police had came, and things like that, I walked over to her and I said, listen, the door's open for you. If you want to come in, you're welcome to come back to the house. We love you and we support you. And lo and behold, some 7 days later, she came back, etc. But I knew that we were going to help her go to where she wanted to be. And that's what true unconditional love is all about, ladies and gentlemen. It really is about honoring and accepting and loving people just the way they are, even though they don't honor, love, and respect you. The thing about it is that's their issue. That's their problem. And in a nutshell, you would never get upset with anyone that was physically sick. Get irritable and agitated when not feeling well, headaches and crankiness and stomach aches. So we're not in our best, type of experience. So we have more compassion and forgiveness about if they lash at us. We know that they're physically sick. But when people are mentally sick, we don't cut them a break. We take it real personal. I can't believe they yelled at me. How did they say that about me? How did they do these things to me? No, I had nothing but compassion for her. It was clear she was in physical pain. So that's what you need to do sometimes, though. But for you, for a beginner spiritualist, for a beginner, holy yogis out there, sometimes you have to cut it. And that's what I did. In the previous past, I had to totally exonerate and cut my relationship from my mother. That's what I did when I evicted her from the house, because I was at such a sensitive, vulnerable stage. Enormous amount of pressure on me trying to raise children, my children. I even had foster kids at the time, trying to run $1 million business. I didn't have the energy. I did not have the energy. I didn't have the fortitude or the spiritual strength to deal with that energy at that time, and I had to cut her loose. So I literally evicted her from one of my properties, and she left. And then I knew I had to do that, because it takes a lot of energy and positive energy in order to build wealth in $1 million real estate portfolio. It takes tons of energy to build that. And if you got that one negative person around you, it doesn't matter if you have 1,000 positive people around you, it would totally destroy anything that you're trying to acquire or do for yourself, and particularly for your family. So sometimes it's your family, and sometimes it's your friend. You gotta love them from a distance, okay? And you gotta do some tough love type of decision making, and that's what you do. Now, when you terminate the physical relationship with them, always, but you never terminate the spiritual relationship with them. What I mean by that is You keep on sending them light. You keep on sending them love. You keep on sending them healing. That's very important. Because even with my relationship with my dad was a deadbeat dad. Never saw him during my whole type of youth. And right before my son was born, he contacted me. And when he did, we literally, because I was, and ironically, when that's ironic, you know, not a coincidence, because I was already deciding to think about, you know, bringing in this new life into the world. I wanted him to have that type of experience of knowing that he had a grandson. And so I was going to contact him after he was born because, once again, if he was still negative, I didn't want that negative energy around this wonderful new being I'm bringing into the world. I just wanted light, love, beauty, and happiness. So I didn't want to jeopardize that. But literally a week before he was born, he contacted me. And with the I never forget, a Federal Express letter wanting to rekindle our relationship. And we literally picked up where we left off on, and complete love and peace, because he was doing the spiritual work and I was doing the spiritual work. At night, every time I went to bed, I prayed for his well-being. I prayed for his family's well-being and happiness and joy and peace. And in turn, he did the same for me, so that at that realm, we were healed. We were healed at that realm. Same thing with my mother. Now that she has transitioned, I'm praying for her. Light, liberty, universe, please heal her mentally and physically of all the imbalances that go on. Bring her in a place of peace, light, and love. Glory be the divine of it. So I'm still praying for her. I'm still sending positive light. I'm still sending positive affirmations, because as I am sending it to her, what's happening? Full circle is coming back to me. So, for you beginners in the beginning stages, and when you're in elementary school, when you're in spiritual special ed, you got to sometimes just say no. Sometimes release those friends. It's just like an alcoholic. You're not going to go into a bar knowing that's going to intimidate you to drink. That's the same thing with trying to heal yourself spiritually. You're not going to hang out with someone who is not of the same like mind, the same energetic vibrational frequency as you. You only want to be around people that are going to glorify you and lift your vibrational frequency up and take you to the next level, so that when they come around, that parasitic energy that tries to bring you down can't touch it, because you got the aura of the Most High, marinating around you and consistently, healing you on a consistent daily basis. That's why every morning when she was with me, and even now that she's not with me, it's been a religious experience. I religiously every day do my prayers, do my affirmations, my meditations, my visualizations, my breathing exercises, my physical exercise. Make sure I'm eating right, fortifying myself, keeping my body light, fasting, praying, meditating, all that. Matter of fact, I'm fasting right now to keep me light, so I become a more enlightened being. So no negative energy like hate and envy and greed and jealousy weighs you down and contributes to your toxicity and takes away your energy. So that's what you want to do. Avoid energy vampires by terminating your relationship with them. It doesn't have to be forever. No, it doesn't have to be forever. But for a period of time where you know that you've done enough spiritual work, where you say, I got this. I can handle it. I'm in the light. Because you know why? That's what Jesus, Allah, Jehovah, Buddha, Yahweh, God does for us. It wasn't like, even when, no matter what happened to Jesus Christ, to Allah, they always sent out love. They always was gracious, compassionate, loving, unconditional human beings. And that's what we're getting back to. Learning how to be that type of person. And just continue to send out love. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, keep your vibrational frequency up and release the people that are bringing it down. And sometimes it's your family and it's your friend. And sometimes it's the closest one. It's your mama and your daddy. And sometimes you have to just say no. N-O. Use that N-word. It's good in this situation and circumstance. Let's do our minute meditation. Dear Heavenly Father, divine gracious Mother, Father God, we pray for the energy vampires, if they're family, friends that are in our lives, that they seek out the light of your glory and the love. And we thank you so much for instilling with them, with instilling within inside of us love, peace, happiness, and joy for ourselves, and also love, peace, happiness, and joy for our family and friends who need lots of love because they are not healed, holy, and at peace and loving within themselves. Nobody can't love you, ladies and gentlemen, if they are not loving themselves. That's the bottom line. Peace. Hetapu. Namaste. Have a fantastic day.